podium.
Well, thank you, Chancellor Haynes, and faculty and staff members, families, and friends from the Tri-Cities community, and especially you Cougars from the graduating class of 2023. What a wonderful Eastern Washington day we have as you embark on your new adventure. I've been a little nervous about making this speech, ladies and gentlemen, worrying that I didn't have the wisdom needed to give such remarks, and also knowing I'm the last thing between you and getting the diploma and getting out the door. Then I remembered that most people can't remember who spoke at their graduation or what was said. What most people do remember about their graduation speech is that the speaker droned on far too long. So whether or not you remember anything about my speech, I'm happy to report that it will be over in about 15 minutes, at which point you can get back to celebrating and having your families asking you lots of uncomfortable questions about your job search. Now, giving a commencement speech is a lot easier if I was 1,000 miles away when all the audience knows about me is that I was once a general or the Secretary of Defense. But here in the Tri-Cities where I grew up, I can't get away with anything but the truth. Too many here have known me too well for too long. For example, I cannot tell you that I was a model student. When I went to college, it was at then Central Washington State College, 100 miles away in Ellensburg, because I didn't make the cut for WSU. The truth is that I was a rather mediocre student who liked beer parties more than I liked sitting in a classroom. So you understand the respect I have for each of you here today. And as I got a bit more boisterous during college, a local judge determined to approve my behavior by sending me to jail. To be honest, that didn't really get my attention either. My outlook didn't change much until I joined an organization known as the United States Marine Corps, and then, as you might expect, it changed a lot. Now, while I did not enjoy sitting in a classroom, I really did love to learn. My parents had instilled in me the curiosity and a love of learning, which have lasted my whole life. Coupled to a Pacific Northwesterner's grit that you and I share, they are largely responsible, my parents are, for what modest success I've had. And having a love of learning means always sensing the gap between what we know and what there is to know, and then trying to narrow that gap. Being a lifelong learner requires the maturity and even the humility to understand that there is always more to know. Now, anyone who has my color hair, underneath here it's white, has seen a lot in life and has explored one of the questions you're probably thinking about today. I've graduated, but what happens now? What are the next steps to take in my career? The first thing I would say is don't be scared. We've all been through it. It is perfectly fine to be uncertain. In fact, I'd be worried if you didn't feel uncertain in this very uncertain world. That uncertainty can become a superpower if you enable it. It can give you the courage to explore the world and find out what you were meant to do. Don't fake a feeling of certainty for the benefit of others. Be enthusiastically uncertain as you try to figure things out and determine how to live your most genuine life and be the best version of yourself. The most interesting people I know had absolutely no idea where they were going to do in life when they were 22 years old. And for the most part, what has happened to them has been unpredictable. In my experience, you can only do your very best if you are doing something you love. So finding that can actually take a while, but it's well worth your time and energy. And I'll make a few suggestions as you begin your search. And it's only a few. I'll stay inside 15 minutes. I will keep the rest of these suggestions to 7, as I already promised. And the first one is it's much more important to be kind than to be clever. I'm sure we can all remember an occasion when we said something clever to someone when saying something kind would have been better. Second, don't waste your time on jealousy or comparing yourself to others. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and really it's a race every day to make yourself that better version of who you want to be. Third, prioritize excellence more than success. Vincent van Gogh sold just one painting in his lifetime. Johann Sebastian Bach wrote more than 1,100 pieces of music, most of which were not performed in his lifetime. Emily Dickinson wrote 1,800 poems, very few of which were published in her lifetime. Yet today, we all know the names Van Gogh, Bach, and Dickinson, and people 500 years from now will still know their names. Just focus on being excellent and let the rest take care of itself. Fourth, your generation is living in a very strange digital world of likes, shares, and clicks, and being influenced by famous people who are famous just for being famous. Don't confuse fame and notoriety with quality or character. The most famous cruise ship in history is the Titanic, but that's not a voyage anyone wants to take again. Fame, after all, can be fake. Fifth, don't be quick to judge other people. There is no saint who doesn't have a past, and there is no sinner who doesn't have a future. Don't judge people by their best or worst moments. Get to know who they really are. Sixth, devote yourself to the children in your life in advance of your devotion to your own children one day. It is much easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. And finally, I offer three simple words. Put others first. You will be amazed how much power you will derive from reducing focus on yourself and instead using more of your energy to benefit others. Of all the power that you could enjoy, the greatest is the power of compassion and helping others. This is one of the hardest challenges you will face, choosing what to care about. I often notice that young folks will list their grade point average on their resumes when I read them, especially when the numbers are impressive. But did you know the average college GPA of a self-made millionaire is 2.7? Well, some of your classmates you may have called slackers on certain days here will have a new name one day, called boss. Top grades alone do not breed success. Grit and perseverance count for more. Now you are armed with a diploma. In 10 years, many of you may be working in industries which haven't been invented yet. Career fields do come and go. What you have learned in class in the past 4 years may or may not be useful in those jobs. Yet statistics say you have a much better chance of success armed with that degree you worked so hard for. What will be crucial as you go forward is that you have now learned how to learn, recognizing that the work of a lifelong learner is never done. Continuing to learn and keeping your focus on hard work, on kindness, loyalty, excellence, and character will give you the best chance of succeeding in whatever you choose for your life work. Now, 77 years ago, in 1946, another generation of young Americans was marking a special time in their lives, just as you are doing today. They had just fought and won the war against Nazi Germany and Japan. They had saved the world. Then they came home and built the America we know today. That generation of Americans were usually the first in their family to go to college, just as is true for many of you. They built giant industries and small businesses and began to integrate much of America for the first time, discovered the cures for age-old diseases. So 77 years from now will be the year 2100. On that graduation day, what will the speaker be saying about your generation? Will the speaker be able to say that you saved the world from threats every bit as serious as those faced in 1946? Threats to our climate, our democracy, our free way of life? Did you act with integrity and courage when faced with those challenges? Or did you look the other way? Are you playing an active role in the urgent discussion about the world you will leave to your own children? Or will you passively accept living in a civic gulag dictated by the whims of those who choose to participate? We must all wrestle with the big issues in the public square about what kind of society we want to have. It is more than our right to do so. It is our civic and moral obligation, for we are all guardians of our democracy. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts said something in a commencement speech that has always stuck with me. I'd like to share it with you. He said, "From time to time in years to come, I hope you will be treated unfairly, so that you will come to know the value of justice. I hope that you will occasionally suffer betrayal, because that will teach you the importance of loyalty. And I hope you will be lonely from time to time, so that you don't take friends for granted. I wish you bad luck from time to time, so that you will be conscious of the role of chance in life, and understand that your success is not completely deserved, and that the failure of others is not completely deserved either. And when you lose, as you will from time to time, I even hope your opponent will gloat over your failure. It's a way for you to understand the importance of sportsmanship. I hope that you'll be ignored, so you know the importance of listening to others. And I hope you have just enough pain to learn compassion. Like it or not, all these things Justice Roberts mentioned will happen. The question is how you will react and what you will learn when they do. So I will leave you with the words of the journalist Walter Whitman from a speech he gave in 1940. The storm clouds gathered before World War II. The speech was to the 30th reunion of his Harvard class of 1910. He said, "For every right that you cherish, you have a duty which you must fulfill. For every hope that you entertain, you have a task that you must perform. For every good that you wish to preserve, you will have to sacrifice your comfort and your ease. There is nothing for nothing any longer." Lippmann was trying to shake his classmates out of their slumbering complacency. As we move on to celebrations which we have all earned, let's spare a thought for Lippmann's words. There is nothing any longer. You must earn the good life that the opportunity of America presents to every one of you graduates. I'm truly honored to be here with you today, and I do wish you all the best. Thank you very much.